Well, it's been an interesting few weeks on social media, and no doubt as we run up to the general election it's going to get more interesting. I've been asked to do a few videos, and no doubt on one or two of them I'm going to get some stick, but such is life, I'm thick-skinned. What's prompted this one is a recent posting by Tom Watson on his Facebook site. Now, at the moment the country has some real major issues. Got issues around security, Islamic extremism, immigration, the NHS, education, employment, our children's futures, care of the elderly, the vulnerable, the disabled, our veterans, pension pots that people have worked all their lives for. Now, you would hope that your candidates might be talking to you about those sort of issues a bit more, but some things are a little bit different in reality. Tom Watson, do you remember him, Tom Watson? 16 years apparently he's been on your side. 16 years of what exactly? I'll get back to Tom's record on another video in the future, but have you tried to get in touch with him? Have you tried to get his response? Have you tried to get him involved in matters? It'd be interesting to know what your experiences are. I certainly know what mine have been, and some others that I'm aware of. Anyway, on his Facebook site he's posted up a petition. Now, this petition's about quad bikes, motorcycles going off-road, causing damage to verges, causing damage to fields, causing a nuisance, and they are a pain in the arse. And at some point or other they are going to cause an accident, and somebody's going to get really hurt. But let us have a look at one or two things here. This matter is already being reported. Plenty of us have been reporting this into the council, into the police. The police are already meeting with some communities to discuss what they can do. Meetings are already taken place about prevention measures. Now, the police can't do everything, they can't stop it all. The best you can hope for is that some of the entrance and exit points in more residential areas have squeeze gates put in, or they put in bollards, or they try and shut down some of those entrance and exit points. But they're never going to stop it. It's been going on for years, this type of thing has. Now, it makes me wonder why Tom has decided to do this. Now, is it an admission that basically this matter, which should be a matter for the local councillors to look at and sort out with the council and the police, aren't doing their job? Well, if they're not doing the job, why are we paying them 1.24 million a year? You've got 72 councillors. 1.24 million, that's a hell of a lot of money for those councillors with their allowances. Some are paid more than others, by the way. And is this an admission that those councillors can't do that job and that they're not giving you value for money? Just while I'm on it, I mean, in 2015, 2016, one councillor, he only put in 3 inquiries during the year for his community. That councillor this year has been made mayor. Why? Is this Labour's reward for poor performance? That'll be the subject of another video at some point. Now, the other matter is, if it's not the case that Tom is highlighting that his councillors, his Labour councillors, aren't doing the job, then why is Tom putting this petition up now? It's because it's emotive. It's because it can be used for clickbait for his Facebook site. So people go in there and say, oh, thank you, Tom, it's good that somebody's doing this, Tom, all the best, Tom, so forth and so on. That's all it is. And then Tom responds back to them, so you feel involved and engaged. It's nonsense. That's not the case at all. This is window dressing. The matter is already in hand. I just don't understand his reasoning other than trying to create clickbait for his election campaign and his social media sites. It's wrong. Now, Tom is too far. Now, be careful what I say here. He's too far into his Westminster bubble, and he's forgotten the people he's supposed to represent. He's become part of that elite that we all despise. He's becoming part of that elite that has forgotten who is supposed to represent at ground level. He has forgotten about West Bromwich East and Sandwell. He's become really disengaged. He moved down to Bermondsey, and he's since moved to Lambeth in the Vauxhall constituency. I mean, difficult to keep track with the different properties that he has got, but that could be another video for future reference. We see him election time, or when he comes up here to do a bit of press, Have a chat with his funders, see what other money you can get out, or when he's stuffing his face down the vine. Again, the matter of funding, I'll share a video about that one in the future. But let's be clear, it's time for change. We've had 40 years of Labour failure in Sandwell. We've had 16 years of Tom apparently being on our side. We need someone that's going to represent us properly, not just the cliques and the coffee morning invitees. Tom, it's time for change. We need somebody that is really going to stand up to Labour in Sandwell Council, that's going to stand up for you, represent you, and clean up the area. We need more hope, and we're not going to get that from Labour, and we're certainly not going to get that from Tom. He ain't going to do anything. We've got to vote for change, for the greater good for Sandwell. We deserve better than EU Remainer Tom. We don't want the 66% of people in Sandwell who voted to leave the EU being betrayed by Labour. Tom will betray you. He's not going to represent you. He likes the EU. He wants us to remain in the EU. And if you're a Labour supporter and you're part of the Corbyn cult, do you think Labour's Tom Watson is going to make you be able to change the party? Do you think he's going to allow Corbyn to change the party the way you want? I doubt it very much. It wouldn't surprise me if he's sharpening blades at the moment. We all know his way of working and what he's done in the past. Now, no doubt, I mean, Tom Watson will have his leadership campaign planned out already should Jeremy Corbyn fail. It's time to vote for the greater good. It's time to vote for a change in Sandwell. It's time to vote for a break in the stranglehold that Labour have had over us in Sandwell, over West Bromwich East, for 40 plus years, 16 of which we've had Tom Watson. Time for change. Please, for the greater good, for the future of Sandwell, for a change in Sandwell, vote for anybody else other than Tom Watson. We'll be keeping an eye on you.